Hi, my name's Bill Pennock, and I am a few days away from a long-awaited rotator cuff surgery. It is May of 2020, and we're just coming out of the whole self-quarantine, stay-at-home, etc. stuff in the country. And my injury happened on March 3rd. I actually broke my hand, which is completely healed, but I also tore my rotator cuff on my left side, and uh, needed surgery. It was scheduled for March 30th, and they canceled all elective surgery. Who would have guessed that rotator cuff surgery was elective, just like tummy tucks and your eye lifts? But it is. So that was canceled. I had to wait for almost 2 months. I'm finally scheduled for May 21st, which is this coming up Thursday. And I am inspired by a woman named Donna Westermeir, who I watched her videos of her rotator cuff surgery recovery, and they've been extremely helpful to me in preparing for this and mentally preparing for this. So I thought I would do my own, simply because I'm a 68-year-old man and she is much younger and not a man. So I thought my experience may be different, may not, I don't know, but we'll find out. A couple things that I've been very happy that I've done in getting prepared for this, that they don't tell you in the surgery center, and your surgeon and your pre-op people don't tell you, is my insurance anyway, and apparently most, don't pay for cold therapy. And cold therapy is, I know from my knee surgery, extremely valuable. So I went out and purchased a cold therapy machine. They aren't expensive enough to worry about. And that is right here. It's actually a product from Polar Products. And it's just really a little ice chest that has tubing attached to a pump on the inside, and you plug this in, and then you plug in a pad like this, and that just goes together. So this pad is not the standard pad. The standard pad is a large pad, but it's not really as large as the shoulder pad. This is a shoulder pad, and this, you can see, goes all the way up front and back of the shoulder, and then down the shoulder. So I went ahead and got the shoulder pad in exchange for the, in exchange for the regular pad, the universal large pad. Another thing is, if it's possible to get one, and I haven't asked them yet, but if it's possible to get one that has longer tubes here. And the reason is, it's going to be very hard to connect these tubes together. To connect these tubes together when my arm is in the sling that's very close to my body, that's required for this surgery. So it may be possible to do, but it's not going to be easy. I happen to have an extension set of tubes that I got, I had from another device completely, and so this set of tubes I'm using to connect to this one, and making it very easy to put this anywhere I need to be able to connect it at night. I know that's going to come in handy in the middle of the night when I need to wake up and go to the bathroom. So anyway, so I'd really suggest that. The other thing about these is, you can put ice in here. You can also use things like this, blue ice, or these, I got these when a food company sent me some food products that needed to be kept relatively cool. Or you can simply fill out 16-ounce bottles of water. And I've done some testing. I did not use regular ice because I really didn't want to have to be draining it every time. So I filled it up to the level that it says on the inside, And then I found that actually 6 of these frozen works a lot better than the other 2 things I've tried. So that would be my suggestion. These last almost 6 hours for me. I'm using a sequence. These things have a sequencer on them, how long they're on and how long they're off. I'm using a sequence of 10 off and 40 on. A lot of people say that the right sequence is 30 on, 30 off. I found I need it on a little bit more, but you also have to be very careful that you don't freeze your arm. So I also put it on over this shirt, which is a fairly thin golf shirt to protect the skin, but it seems to work really well for me that way. Obviously, you need to learn for yourself what works. At any rate, testing this thing has been really valuable before the surgery because I'm a bit more mobile than I'm going to be. And even though this arm doesn't do an awful lot of stuff, it does do enough. But I'm not going to be that mobile after the surgery. So what I found was the original place next to the bed that I put it, put the ice chest wasn't the best place. I've now moved it to another spot. I also found that the control is actually on the cord that plugs this in, and I found that I didn't really have good access to it while I was in bed, and so I found a piece of furniture that I could just put a little hook in, and now I hooked that right next to the bed, and it's right there where I can see it easily, see whether it's on or off or what its timing is, and change it, do anything I want with it. Those little things are going to make a huge difference, I believe, when at time, after the surgery, and I'm locked up in a tight sling for 6 weeks. That sling, they say I've got to wear 24/7 except for showering, and especially in bed. So because they don't want me moving around. So with that limited mobility, practicing with this thing in advance was hugely successful. The other thing I did was I found a bucket in order to move these things back and forth from the freezer. It turns out that you've got a little bit of condensation. You got water from the inside of this thing in them, so or on them. So I got a bucket, and I just pull them out and throw them in the bucket. Take them back out to the freezer. I do dry them off before I put them in the freezer. And then I take out a new set, put them in the bucket, and bring them back in. Little things like that are super helpful. So that's my pre-op suggestions and experience. Hoping for a good outcome on Thursday, obviously, and I will be back after the surgery.